Hello and welcome to CloudFox Hub. We already discussed about all the necessary options related to the task definition. Now we are going to create task definition for our project. So let's start. We want to create task definition for our project, but I want you to understand how our project is actually working. So I have this application running inside ECS and I want you to understand how the things are actually working here. In this web application, we have one facility that user can upload his or her picture, and we are actually going to store this picture into the S3 bucket, right? So let's say that this web application is currently open and I'm going to choose file. Here I'm going to choose one file name is output.png and let me click on open. Now when user is going to click over here on upload now, it is going to store this file into the S3 bucket. I have this S3 bucket, CloudFox app, and right now if you look at this bucket is completely empty. Now I'm going to click on upload now. I got this message, image uploaded successfully to S3. Now going to the S3, and if I'm going to refresh this, I will get this file here. So I got this folder uploads, and here we have this output PNG. So in our web application, we are actually going to upload data, specifically files from web application to S3, right? This is a use case. Now for this particular application, we are actually going to create task definition. Okay, so now let's start step by step. I'm going to start with introduction. In this session, we are going to create ECS Fargate task definition for our web application. We have two launch type, ECS and EC2. Sorry, Fargate and EC2. Here we are going to create for Fargate. Our application stores data into the S3. So before creating task definition, we must set up the two key resources, right? We have to create two resources first, then we will create task definition. Why? I'm going to tell you this as well. We need to create S3 bucket. See, we are going to store data into the S3 bucket. So we must have bucket. So first thing is we need to create S3 bucket. Second, we have to create ECS task role. Why? Because this task or web application is going to store data from ECS to S3. So in this case, we have to give them permission. So we have to create task role. So our application can store the data to S3. So we need to create this two resources first. So before moving ahead with the task definition, we will first create S3 bucket and then we will create ECS task role. Now I'm going to create S3 bucket. See here, I provided you all the steps. You can follow this step. I'm not going to read all this step because I have clear idea about how the things are working. So in order to create bucket, what I'm doing, I'm going to the S3. Right now I'm in S3. Now here you need to choose your region. You can choose any region. So I am from India, so I'm going to choose Mumbai. Now going to the general purpose bucket, and here I am going to click on create bucket. Now bucket name must be unique, so you can give any name, my web app new. Okay, you can give any name. Now whatever the name that you are going to provide here, I want you to note it down. Why? Because we have to use this name in upcoming task definition creation. So I am going to copy this. Right, this is my bucket name. Done. We don't need to create any public bucket, or we don't need to give any permission or anything, right? It is a simple process. Just need to create your bucket. After creating bucket, you note down two things. One, in which region your bucket is, and another thing is bucket name. So I have this bucket into the Mumbai region. So I'm going to copy this as well. right? So my bucket name is my web app new. region AP South 1. Okay. So this all things are done. Now we need to create role. Now when we are going to create this particular role, we have to give name. So I'm just going to copy this name. Otherwise, I'm going to show you all the steps. First of all, you have to go to the IAM. Right now, I am inside IAM. Now, IAM, we need to create roles. So you need to click on roles. Then we need to click on create roles. Now we want to give this role to task. So we have to select AWS service. Now here, ECS, right? So Elastic Container Service. Now from here, we want to assign this particular role to the task. So we need to select Elastic Container Service task, right? Next. Now which permission you want to provide? Why we are creating this task? Because we want, why we are creating this role? Because we want that our task can store the data to S3. So we need to give permission on a specifically S3. Now I'm giving S3 full access. The good idea is you can create your custom policy and assign permission on a specific bucket. I'm not going to do this because I want to simplify this entire process. This is a part of IAM and we already discussed about IAM. So right now I'm giving this full access permission. In real world, it is actually not good practice to assign this. I already added this note as well. In production, you should create custom policy that grants access only to the specific bucket. But I am right now giving full access permission. Okay. Next, I am giving name ECS task role my web. Here, I am going to add this as well. Task role name. This is a name, right? And I am going to click on create role. So it is done. Role ECS task role my web created. So everything is good now. We have our bucket. We have our role as well. So finally, we are going to create our task definition. These are the steps. I am going to follow this directly. So I have to go to the task definition. Here I have this one task definition already created. Why? Because I want to show you this demo application. So for that, I have created this. So I'm going to create the new one. Create new task definition. Here you can give any name. I'm going to give this name like my web app final. Okay. You can give any name according to your convenience. No problem. We are creating this task definition for Fargate. Then we have our operating system architecture Linux x86-64. Networking mode AWS VPC is the only option available. Why? Because here we are selecting this like we have selected AWS Fargate. One CPU, it is enough. And if I have one CPU, I can also assign 2 GB of RAM. So I'm just going to choose 2 GB here. Now this is a task role. We already created this task role. Name is ECS task role my web app. So I'm going to choose this ECS task role my web. Okay, this is good. We got it directly. Now this role is giving permission to our task to store data into the S3. Same way, here we have to provide task execution role as well. As you know that, and we already discussed about this in some of the previous class, that we are going to store our container image into the ECR. So we have our image into the ECR. And now we want to use this image. So ECS must have permission to pull this image from ECR. Now to give this particular permission, we have to use task execution role. Right now, I can directly choose this one, create new role. So AWS will create this automatically. Okay. So we are just going to select this, create new role. And I have added all the details as well. That in the drop down, choose create new. AWS will automatically create role, name task execution role with the required Amazon ECS task execution role policy. This role is used to pulling the container image, sending log to the CloudWatch, and fetching secrets at the start, not from the S3. So for S3, we have task role for cloud watch log or to pull the image, we have task execution role, right? Now finally we are coming to the container. Here you can give name of the container, web, which image you want to use. As you know that we have this image already in the ECR, so we just need to use URI and we need to paste it over here. So we have private registry for sure, but because it is in AWS, means we have our image into the ECR, we don't need to worry about this private registry because we already provided permission to fetch image using task execution role. If you have your image stored in a private registry of Docker Hub or any else private repo, then you have to go with the private registry. Because we have our image into the ECR private registry, we don't need to touch this option, right? We want to access this application on a port number 80, so I'm not going to touch this. We are okay with this option. Then we don't need to set up any CPU, GPU limits right now. This is the most important part. See, here we need to set up environment variable.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Atara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying $499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages, videos of AWS. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.